r/AskReddit. What is considered cute when done by a kid but illegal when done by an adult? My 2-year-old stroked a flight attendant's behind with both hands as she was shifting something in the overhead bin next to our seat. Her skirt was very tight fitting, right in front of his face, and I guess he just thought it looked nice to touch. She whipped her head around at light speed with a glare to send the offender up in flames. When she saw it was just a toddler and I apologized, she looked relieved and laughed. The way she reacted, though, made me think she probably has that happen way too often by grown gross dudes, taking shortcuts through PPLS yards. Those were the days. I did this the other day. It cut almost a half mile off my trip, but as I was being nice and going around the flower beds, the guy came out and started yelling at me. I just rolled up my windows and turned up the music. Edit. Wow, thanks for the gold. As Ray Romano said, when your kid discovers he can get an erection for the first time and runs out of the bathtub going pee pee big, it is cute and all. When grandpa does it, it is sad and disturbing, but grandpa has more reason to be happy. Gramps used Harden. It was very effective, for now. When I was 5 or so, I went to a baseball game with my dad and he wouldn't let me get popcorn. I really wanted popcorn. I walked away and sat on a random man's lap plus started eating his popcorn. I closed my eyes and pretended like I thought it was my father, like, "Oh dad, you got popcorn, thanks," because my child mind thought my dad would believe I thought it was him and wouldn't get mad. I don't think that would be very cute as a 21-year-old. Best thing I've read all day. My friend, when he was just crawling apparently, was at a beach with his mum. She looked away for a second and he'd crawled over to a nearby topless sunbather sleeping on her back and tried to suckle on her. Obviously she screamed and it didn't get far, but after much embarrassment they did all laugh it off. As an adult, that's probably prison time. Even as a literal baby it could have been much worse depending on the woman's response. At that age, a topless beach probably looks like a buffet. A baby can drink a bottle and fall asleep and it's cute. When I drink a bottle and go to sleep I got problems. My 3-year-old ran up to a large man with a shirt too small for his body at a BBQ joint in Chicago and gave him a big hug. He thought it was cute and he walked away. When I asked her why she hugged him, she told me so I could lick him. She licked the man's underbelly. Imagine the man's utter confusion when he walks away and feels a cold patch on his underbelly. Saying they want to marry their mom or dad. Yikes. My nephew, who is 5, was having a sleepover with my son, who is 4. We were eating dinner and somehow the subject of husband and wife came up, and my nephew asked who my husband was. I am not married, so I explained that I didn't have one. He nonchalantly said, "Well, that's okay, cause you will just marry your dad. He can be your husband." Nope, buddy, that's not how it works. My mom always loved to tell how when I was first being potty trained, when I had to go number 2, I would pull my pants down in the living room before trotting to use the toilet. Pants around ankles. Something tells me it wouldn't go over as well now. I did that once at preschool. Stopped at the bathroom door to drop my pants before going inside to use it. Don't think my classmates noticed, but a teacher did and told me not to do that. I wasn't embarrassed by it either, but I do remember thinking at that moment that just maybe this isn't quite how it's supposed to go, but I'm gonna do it anyway because convenience. When they ask a question and follow it by saying don't say no, or when they wait outside your bathroom door asking details of what you're doing in there, like do you have a penis or 2 butts. My son asks a question by saying daddy, I think you'll say no to this, but playing doctor. Franco Bagnale has entered the chat. Calling 911 to get a Happy Meal. Or due to a lost teddy bear. I remember when I first moved to my new house, one of my neighbors, who had autism, somehow broke into my house and started looking around. The next day he apologized and said to me he looked cute doing it as a kid, but now he is 17, it's just scary. Edit. I forgot to say that his dad was the one who apologized. Oops. Running around in public naked. My 3-year-old was being potty trained at the time and I took him to McDonald's after his vaccinations to cheer him up. He had a great time until he announced to me that he wet himself. So I go to my bag to get a change of trousers and pants to hear people laughing and I look up from my bag. He dropped his trousers and pants to the floor and was shuffling to the bathroom door with them around his ankles with a big grin on his face. Just his little butt exposed. I couldn't even be embarrassed. It was too funny. My toddler, 2, once ran around our house naked, sat in my lap, took a shit and left. Does that count? Was cute until she shit. Then it was funny after I calmed down. Grabbing all boobs cause you think they mean food. When a kid draws on the wall, sometimes people will think it's cute and creative. When an adult draws on the wall, it's called vandalism. Unless they have been commissioned, then they are an artist, and the drawing is now very important for some reason. Sit on people's laps. Demand to be picked up. I don't know. Had a tiny girlfriend once. She was always on my lap. Though she hated being picked up, people seemed to think it was okay just because she was little. Being attracted to other kids. That's illegal as an adult. Looks like Uncle Murray has some explaining to do. Whipping down your pants and having a pee any way you like. I love hearing the phrase having a pee. I wish people said it where I am from. Sucking on your mom's boobies. My 2-year-old daughter smacked a random lady's booty at the grocery store because she sees me do that to her mom at home. It was funny, but if she was 16 years older that might be sexual assault. My son did that to a waiter when he was about 18 months. The waiter was not amused. I wanted to crawl into a hole. Dressing up as a cop. Not sure if this really answers the question, but I work in an elementary school and one day a group of 7-year-old girls ran up to me at recess asking if they could go bye-bye. I said sure and they jumped onto the ground and pretended to sleep. A few minutes later they ran up to me asking if they could come and I just stood there processing for a minute. I didn't need 7-year-old girls running around saying Mr. said we can come. So I sent them to their primary teacher. I guess it wouldn't be illegal for an adult to ask to come but I sure as hell would be creeped out. Opening lemonade stands on the side of the road. Falling in love with kids. Depends on how rich and famous you are. When a kid walks up to a random person and pukes on them, nothing bad happens, but when I puke on random people it's illegal and concerning, like WTF. Sticking your head under ladies' dresses. The dress here is made out of dress. Peeing outside. When my son went through potty training, we let him pee in the backyard or outside somewhere if he didn't think he could make it to a bathroom. He'd get all excited, turn around, pull his pants down, and his little baby butt would just be facing everybody while he peed. It was great, lol. I believe they still put people on sex offender lists for peeing in public as adults. Not paying taxes. Ah, look at little Johnny not filing a 1040. How cute. Dating 12-year-olds. Kissing other kids on the cheek when they didn't technically consent. Oh, Timmy likes Anne. How cute. Versus. Bro, who TF are you? Being completely honest with people. Edit. Wow, my comment went big and thank you for the silver kind stranger, it's my first time. I envy my kid for this. One day we were going on vacation to visit family. At the airport someone asked him what he was going to do where we were going. He had a little bit of a confused look for half a second and then, very matter-of-factly said whatever I want, in a tone like the person asked a stupid question. I think about that every day. He also pointed to a group of seniors off the bus from the nursing home and a field trip to some blow plate special restaurant and proclaimed, "Dad, look at all those almost dead people." Shitting yourself and then crying in the middle of a supermarket while sitting in a trolley. Seems like a bunch of people have already mentioned public nudity, so I'll go with murder. You must have had a really ducked up childhood. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content. It's free and that's a great price.